I'd say there's two types of friendship. I'd say you have the casual friendship, the friends you meet at work, at school, at any activity you do. I think these friends change and you're gonna have different casual friends. And then I believe there's real friends or friends for life, if you want to call it that way. And those are the friends that you meet and you're gonna be friends with them for the rest of your life or at least for a very long time. And I think like in any kind of relationship, these are the friends where you're able to, for sometimes, stop thinking about yourself, and you're even able to sacrifice something for them, and sometimes even forget yourself just for them to be good, for them to be happy. I think these are the types of friends who are loyal, but not loyal like a dog is loyal to you, but loyal because they have a good heart and they do it because that's the right thing to do. And yeah, I believe that's a real friend, or at least that's the friend I have.
So for me, a relationship, I think can be something very special or something very like superficial, I think there's a lot of relationships, I mean, you have the relationship you have with your son, with your dog, with your friends, right? And as it comes to friends, like, I think in life, you're going to have a lot of superficial friends, a lot of good friends. And sometimes, like, it's very rare, you have that friendship, it's like your brother, And most of the time, people have that type of relationship, with their brother, right? With their biological brother, So, for me, I think I would say, like that's the most special one, right? Because it's the one that, you can share everything with that person. You can do everything with that person. No matter what you do, you can be alone in a room, you can be grounded, whatever. But as long as the other person is going to be with you, you're going to have a good time. And yeah. So how we met, actually, is very funny because, we're cousins. A lot of people, they don't believe us when we say like we're cousins, right?
Because of the, clear difference.
I mean, I don't understand. We look so similar,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
It's
anyway.
just a small detail.
Yeah,
It's kind of different.
Yeah, 100%. But, like, I mean, you want to tell us? Because you were the one who did it, right?
So I remember one day my mom told me that this guy was my cousin. And I was like, no way, Mom. I need to tell him.
And we were in the same school.
Yeah, we were in the same school. So I went to him, our break time. And I told him, hey, look, we're cousins. And he was like, there is no way. Look, we look so different. It's impossible that we're cousins. And then I was kind of sad because I thought he was my cousin.
But you also told I told you what's your last name?
Oh yeah, true. Because we have different last names.
And yeah, you told me your last names, and we didn't have any last names, that matches, So
True.
I was like, there's no way. You're lying to me,
So then I went to my mom and I told her what he said to me, and we have different last names. And she explained to me that we're cousins, but far away.
Far away.
Not direct cousins.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, these guys stay sad, and for a long time we just didn't talk, until like, I remember like maybe 2 weeks after that, or like 1 month after that, I told my mom, hey, look, there's this guy, who told me that I'm his cousin. and of course he's lying to me, right? Because we don't have the same last name. And my mom told me, no, yeah, he is in fact your cousin, you know. So, and I was like, oh. And from that on, I was like, oh, we're cousins. And every time, you know, we see each other, we'll be like, hey, cousin, how you doing? And all of that, you know. So it's like a family member, you know, that go to school with you, you know. But we weren't like super friends, right?
I think we became closer once we grew up. I don't remember exactly what age was it, but we became more. But we weren't as close as right now. We're really good friends, but still, we had some differences.
Yeah.
If you want to call it like that. And there was one time where we had a big fight, you remember, and we stopped being friends for some time. It was a stupid fight.
Yeah, the thing
honest.
actually, you know, like, because I was the guy who wouldn't have like good grades, you know, like don't care about school and all of that, and you were the guy like who would have good grades, you know, and be more chill and all of that, you know. So, and also I used to invite you a lot to my house, right?
True.
And one time, you know, I remember
You were a fan.
yeah, you know, like you didn't want to come to my house, and you were like, you will do like crazy excuses to come to my house and to not come to my house.
I remember, yeah.
And I told you, hey, look, if you don't want to come to my house, like I'm not gonna invite you, right? You were like, yeah, better to be with no one if that person that you're going to be, you know, is someone awful, right? Yeah. And I was like, bet. And that's the big fight that we had, you know.
I don't even remember it.
But yeah, it was like that, yeah, I remember. So
did you say it was like that?
Yeah, so and after a while, I started to have like very bad friends, you know, and I was like, damn.
Me too.
You know, like the relationship I had with Luis, you know, is very different like that the relationship I have with these guys, you know. So, and after that, you know, it was after I started having like comparisons between these relationships and the relationship I've had before, you know. I was like, damn, you know, like it's just so much worse.
Yeah, I remember. It happened also to me. By the way, in the time we weren't friends, that's when also me personally, you know, I was in the wrong path. I tried things I shouldn't have tried, and I did things I shouldn't have done. But I think it's part of life. When you have bad friends, it's hard not to be influenced by them, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that period of time, and then I think we both realized that it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And we just started talking again. And also,
exactly.
I believe it was in a moment that our lives changed a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think we both felt the need to have someone valuable, you know, like in our lives, someone to talk to and someone to seek advice, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And the fact that, you know, just before we didn't know how valuable our relationship was, but the fact that, you know, with the bad friends and all of that, we did. So that made just not like the fact that we had a very good relationship after, but that we knew it was good, you know, and we appreciate it, you know. And even, you know, after I moved to Canada, and we stay in touch, you know, like nothing happened, you know.
I mean, I think now, no, I believe, yeah, it became more of a brotherhood than just a friendship.
Yeah, also like the hard things you experience, you know,
True.
I experienced, you know, and the fact that you are there, you know, that changes everything. I know by a fact, by proof of what has happened, you know, that I know you will be there because you have been there, you know.
Yeah.
And also that's also special because, you know, it's not, you're not going to find someone like that. You will have to spend like years to get to that level of knowing that no matter what, that person is going to stay for there with you, you know. And you know, like because sometimes you have a lot of different persons for a lot of different things, you know. You have that friend that's very funny, but you know, you cannot be too serious about. And you have this other guy, you know, that it's not that funny, but you can be very serious with him, you know. Or like this other guy who does sports, you know. You got my point. But you know, here, like, we just do the same things, you know. That's it.
We even have the same job now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like we grew up together, and I think, you know, like relationships like these is hard, you know. But I really hope you have someone like that, you know, in your life, you know.
Yeah, I think that at least having one person you can talk to about anything is important. It might be a friend, it might be
your mom,
your dad,
you know.
your brother, your sister, anyone. But I know that having no one in your life you can talk to, you might feel sad. You might feel alone. But I do believe most of the times there is someone you can talk to. Maybe you don't know it right now, but you can try to. You also, I think you also need to. I believe there's parts of your life where you don't really want to talk to anybody. You close yourself up, but from time to time, I think it's great to
when it's needed.
When it's needed, yeah, it's important to open up a little bit and talk to someone. You know.